Welcome to the live stream. If anybody's here, I highly doubt it. So, 9 a.m. No one's going to be here on the live stream yet. If the world wasn't ending, I wanna be next to you. Hello, Skibbity Jacky. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Give me a moment here. We're still dressing the set here. Again, welcome, peoples. To those who are here, to those who are not here quite yet, to those who shall be here. So, well, today this is the live bullshit hangout that I've only recently started doing because, you know, hey, why not? Got nothing better to do sometimes. So yeah. Anyways, today we're here to talk. Today we're going to be talking about certain things. One massive thing we're going to do is we are going to do a giveaway. Not today, not next week, probably not even at the end of this month, probably not even till the end of next month. So, yeah. That's about where we're at. There's going to be a giveaway here soon. I haven't decided which thing to give away quite yet. I've got quite a few things that I'm going to do. So, yeah, I told you. I warned you. Lance's Dragonite was going to be a pain. I warned you. And not to mention, he doesn't just have one, he got two. So don't forget that. For those of you who do not know what I'm referring to, in our live streams, one of our wonderful subscribers and followers and lovers of the channel here, he is going through a game of Pokemon Heart Gold. What do you want, Channel Kitty? You seem to only like to talk when the camera's on. So, I love you, buddy, but no. So, yeah, so that's the whole thing of how that goes. And if you guys have not played Pokemon Heart Gold or Soul Silver, or Gold or Silver, then you guys don't know the hardships that come with Lance and his two Dragonites. So, yeah, pretty trash thing that goes on there. Not a very fun time at all. So, but anyways, we'll continue. We gotta reconnect here. Yo, what is up, BMW Goat? How you doing? Yo, what is up? So, yo, thanks for subbing. I appreciate it. Thanks for subbing on this wonderful holiday. I appreciate it. That being said, how are you guys spending your day off from work or school or wherever you are or wherever you be? How are you spending today? I'm spending today with my amazing, lovely subscribers. His whole team is a flying type, so I just need a good lightning type move. Nothing much. What's up, Brett is good. What's up? How you doing? But no, it's not that his whole team is flying. It's that his whole team is flying and he has two dragon type Pokemon. So thanks for the chat, appreciate it. That being said, if you guys do end up in said chat today, you guys will be featured at the end of the video, and you will be shouted out. So don't forget to do so. Anyways, that being said, we are here to talk about a couple of things. Several anniversaries are happening this year. Actually, several happened last year, but this year we've got two big ones, at least two big ones that I'm very excited for. This year, we have the 20th anniversary of Avatar: The Last Airbender coming along, and we also have the 80th anniversary of Thomas the Tank Engine. If none of you guys know what either one of these are, I'll give you a brief synopsis. Um, with Thomas the Tank Engine, let's put it this way: kid was sick in bed in the 1940s. Uh, Dad wrote him a story. Kid liked the story so much he started asking more and more questions about it. Then, as soon as those questions started to get answered, they ended up being like, you know what? Why don't we just turn this into a book? So they turned it into a book. First publication, very, very, very terrible editing, and very, very terrible illustrations. Okay, obviously they were supposed to be indicative of the time, and the illustrations did not very go out well. So they fired that guy, got a different illustrator. The author didn't like that illustrator either, any more than the previous dude. Um, and then the next one, basically, they were like, we're gonna go off of real designs and make these things real characters. So yeah. But anyways, that's just a Thomas the Tank Engine. And then basically, another 35, 40 years later, some TV executive lady came along and said, "Hey, I want to turn your books into a TV show." And basically, that's the gist of Thomas the Tank Engine and where it's currently sitting at right now, at least sort of. Uh, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Long ago, the four nations used to live together in harmony. Then everything changed when the Fire Nations attacked. They used to be made up of four nations: the Air Nomads, the Fire Nation, the Water Tribes, and the Earth Kingdom. And the Avatar is the only one who really could keep peace between them all. So, needless to say, Fire Nation attacks. Avatar is the only one who can control the four elements, kind of deal. And then as soon as that goes down, basically they tried to figure out how this war started, how the war is going to end. The war started by the Fire Nation attacking the Air Nomads. We didn't really get to see tons of that until the Netflix movie, or not movies, the Netflix show, excuse me. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hello, hello, hello. Don't wanna tip that. Definitely don't. Sorry about that, folks. We had a small disconnection. Small disconnection. No big deal, no big deal. But anyways, so yeah, the first episode actually aired this month. So this month, this guy is basically turning 20 years old, or 32, or 132 if you really want to get even more technical. But my point is that this year is going to be an interesting year for anniversaries and such. So, yeah. So if you guys have any other anniversary type deals you want to throw down in the comments section, I'd be very much happy to know. Also, next year, this guy, the Transformers the movie turns 40 as well. So next year is another big anniversary for some franchises. So Transformers turns 40 next year. Also, a very cool thing to have happen going on there. Also, if you guys don't know, in 2 years, Transformers The Last Night will be 10 years old. My gosh, these Transformers movies keep creeping up on me. They just keep creeping up on me. Like, these anniversary dates just keep creeping up on me because as soon as that one turns 10 years old, then the other one, the very first one, Transformers 2007, will be 20 years old. So, yeah, I'm a little concerned because I'm getting old. I'm getting old now. I mean, and for those people who clearly were Transformers fans back in the 1980s, I once again have nothing wrong with that. Be a fan. Do what you need to do. But what makes me really, really concerned about all of these anniversaries is that we're all keeping track. We're all keeping track of these anniversaries. And take note, it just makes you feel that much older, okay? By the way, for those of you who are watching, I am 25, okay? I witnessed the golden revolution age of let me explain something to you guys here. So you guys knew about this guy, like, almost a year in advance before his figure was even announced. We all knew about this guy. We all knew about him, okay? We're going to remove this guy here for just a brief moment here, and then we're also going to remove this guy too, so we can get a little bit more clear on about what we're talking here. So, but anyways, if you were born in the years from 1997 to 2003, I want to say 2003, You grew up at the dawning age of the internet. And when I say dawning age, I don't mean like, oh, were you still running dial-up? No, I was not. We were not running dial-up. We had internet. It just wasn't that good. It just wasn't that good. So people didn't really use it. Not to mention at the time, internet was just basically a brand new thing. Nobody knew what to do with it. Nobody knew how it was going to go. So the only thing we had to go off of back then were rumors, telephone calls, and television. Okay? Those were the three big things that we had growing up. So, if you had toys like this that could entertain you for hours on end without even needing to look at the television screen, that was one thing you parents were like, okay, we're going to just buy a bunch more. So they usually did. Now, to continue on with the next bit of this, I've been hearing a lot of people say, if you're in your mid 20s, oh, you're a boomer. No, you're freaking not. I am 25. I am an elder Gen Z. Okay? If you were born from the year 1996 to 1999, you are an elder Gen Z. Okay? Now, I usually don't talk about this. I usually don't talk about this at all. But the reason I'm bringing this up today is because a couple of days ago, I had this interaction with somebody, and I just about lost my freaking mind. Now, let me explain something to you. This interaction took place in a Walmart. Okay? I was in a Walmart. Now, for those of you who do not know, Walmart is starting to bring certain goods and other things from other countries. Like, for example, we have DVD players that are starting to come from Japan, England, Germany, those types of places, Canada. Well, maybe not Canada, but anyways, we're having all of these things come into play at Walmart, which is great. I've been looking for a Region 2 DVD player, which I have yet to find. So, I went to Walmart to go see if I could find myself a regionless DVD player. Well, I'm in the DVD player section, and there's a kid who's trying to figure out what to buy for his Xbox, because he was buying this, I think he was buying a power cord or something for his Xbox, which, honestly, once again, totally 100% admirable. 100% admirable on that front. But what broke me was when he said this next part. He looked at the PS2 power cord and said, ugh, that is so ancient. How could anybody have such an ancient console? Now, this was where I could not bite my tongue. Because, take note, if you're going to sit there and do things in a Walmart and pay attention to certain things, look at items, look at this, look at that kind of deal, that's great. Once again, no problem with you to that whatsoever. But I had to say the PlayStation 2 is not ancient. To which it's not. It's not ancient. It is not the most ancient console. I'm going to tell you that right now. I think the most ancient console you could possibly get would be an Intellivision or a Atari 2600. That it dates all the way back to the Atari 2600. That's where it should go. But I did not bite my tongue in talking to this kid. And I said, "Excuse me, kid, are you telling me the PlayStation 2 is really old?" And the kid looked at me and he goes, "Well, yeah, it is really old." And I'm like, "No, it's not." I said, "Let me explain something to you about the original consoles here. The original console war, if we're going to be really honest, started back in the early 2000s. Back in the early 2000s, the console wars truly, truly began. Because, yeah, you had Nintendo, you had Sega, you had, what was it? And you had Atari. Those were the first three. That was when families were buying video games for family use. Then you had, in the early 2000s, you had the GameCube, the PlayStation 2, and the original Xbox. Now, there are a couple things that I would like to point out about those consoles that you cannot do with certain consoles today. With the PlayStation 2, they had backwards compatibility, pretty good, or at least certain models had backwards compatibility. Please correct me if I'm wrong. By the way, like I said earlier in the stream, if you do comment, you do get your name shouted out at the end of the stream, which does not happen for quite a while. So, anyways, So basically, the oldest console I own is a SNES, which I think came out in the early 90s and in the late 80s. You are correct, but also incorrect. The SNES came out in 1992, and I've owned them. They're pretty nice. They're amazing. I love it. I love playing Super Mario World. It's an amazing game. But the point is that the kid was telling me that old consoles were the worst, right? He was telling me that they sucked. It was just so old. Why would anybody buy it? Well, the PlayStation 2 had backwards compatibility and it had internet capabilities right around the time that the internet, like online gaming, started as a thing. Then you also had, with that, it doubled as a DVD player, which no other console had. And by the way, back in the early 2000s, if you were going to buy yourself a DVD player, a lot of people chose to buy a PlayStation 2 simply because A, the PlayStation 2 was cheaper, B, it had way more functions and capabilities that no other console could well, maybe not no other console, but certain consoles could not imitate. And on top of it, if you had that thing, it still works today. Okay? Now, same thing slightly goes for the original Xbox. Now, the original Xbox had a feature that I am so angry Microsoft did not decide to keep. In this feature lied one of the coolest things you could do to video games. It allowed the consumer to become a programmer in a way. The original Xbox had a program installed on it where you could download off of a CD, off of a regular flaccid CD. You could take your songs from a regular old CD. So, say for example, you're playing Forza, you're playing the original Forza, and they don't have Deja Vu, right? They don't have Deja Vu while you're drifting. So you could literally get your initial D CD, download the soundtrack to that, and have it play over, or actually not even play over. It would pause the game's music and it would play your soundtrack or the soundtrack to whatever you had in your thing into the game. So basically, it was a CD ripper before CDs were CD rippers. Well, maybe not before CD, but it was the first legal CD ripper, if I'm going to be honest. So the PS2 was the most sold console, like 120 million units sold. You're not wrong on that. However, I don't think it even comes close to what the Switch is going to produce. So I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying I don't think that the PlayStation 2 is going to hold a candle to the Switch. But you are absolutely right because back in the day, 120 million units sold was freaking amazing because like I said, everybody wanted a DVD player, but they were way too expensive. So in order to buy a good DVD player, the worst thing you could do was buy a PlayStation 2. So a lot of parents and a lot of elderly people, well, I say elderly people sort of, but a lot of people who wanted DVD players just went out and bought a PS2 because it was cheaper. It was like $100 cheaper to buy a PlayStation 2 than it was to buy a brand new DVD player. And take note, I lived through this era, so I know exactly what went on. I saw it, I knew how it went down, the whole deal. One thing, though, however, that this kid did said to me that got to me, he said it's so old, and I said, "Well, what are you?" I said, "What are you buying this cord for?" And he said, "Well, I'm buying it for my Xbox." I said, "Well, take note. The original PlayStation ran off of something similar to a downgraded version of this power cord. The PlayStation 2 runs off of the power cord you're currently holding. The original Xbox holds onto that power cord, and the Xbox Series X, S, and Xbox One S all used this cord." And then he said to me that made me something that made me cry a little down inside. And he said, "Ugh, you sound just like my dad. You sound just like my dad. He's always talking about how older consoles were the best." And I said, "They were. They used to run off of cartridges." Then he said this piece that really made me want to cry. He said, "What's a cartridge?" Ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you that I was about ready to strangle this kid because it reminded me of another interaction that I had with another kid, coincidentally, when I was 16. Take note, I was 25, and when I was 16, it was 2015, 2016-ish era, right around that time period. I'm at Goodwill. I'm always looking for good stuff to thrift. That being said, if you guys are looking to buy some cool stuff, I do have some stuff in the description. I'm not saying that to be like I want your money. I'm just saying that because like I've had this stuff sitting around for a while and I just don't know what to do. But oh no, it gets better. It gets better, Skibbity Jack. It gets 100% better. I'm at a Goodwill, okay? I'm in the VHS section, which is coincidentally right next to the DVD section, which is also coincidentally right next to the cassette tapes and CD section. It's all in the same area. All forms of media are all in that area, right? Well, I'm in there and I'm looking at this movie and I'm like, okay, no big deal. I pick up a VHS, I pick up a copy of a VHS version of Back to the Future. By the way, one of the best movies ever made. To which, if you guys haven't seen that movie, what the hell kind of rock you been living under? I still play my Wii, but that thing is. I'm not gonna lie, the Wii was pretty good. I will go into the Wii here in just a moment, but the thing I'm about to say to you guys made me cry a little inside because I was sitting there looking at DVDs, VHS, cassettes, CDs, the whole deal, and this kid was in there and he goes, "Ugh, it's so weird." I'm like, "What's weird?" He goes this and he shows me, I think it was like a PlayStation 4 controller or something like that. I'm like, "That's not weird. That's brand new, dude." And he goes, "Oh, okay." Then he said, "What are you looking at?" I said, "I'm looking at these DVDs." And he said, "What's a DVD?" Followed by me saying the precursor or the predecessor to or the ancestor of the laser disc and the ancestor of the VHS tape. This is what really screwed me over with this kid. He then tells me, "What's a VHS tape?" Ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you there's nothing that hurts me more than hearing what is a VHS tape, to which followed by what is a DVD, I seriously just about lost my shit that day because it hit me really hard how privileged this kid's life was. Now, when I say privileged, I'm not talking like, oh, this kid's got rich parents or whatever kind of deal. What I'm saying is this kid needs help and he needs some he does he definitely did, and I'm hoping he definitely got it, and I'm hoping he definitely sought it out. Because this is where I lost my shit. It hit me that this kid had never seen physical media in his life. And take note, the kid was about maybe 5, 6 years old. So this is right around the dawning of the PlayStation 4, right prior to the PS3, all the things that you would normally get when you're in that area, right? Well, it hit me that this kid had only seen digital media in his entire life. Only. And I was like, wait a second. Take note, I lived out in the middle of nowhere, and if you guys really do want to know, you can go back. If you do subscribe, you guys will know that I used to live out in the middle of nowhere in Washington State. Okay? So I used to live out in the middle of nowhere in Washington State. So physical media was pretty much the only form or way that I could communicate with the outside world with physical media because we didn't have internet out there. We didn't have service out there either. So if you like for example got cut on something and you needed to be rushed to the hospital and no one's there, you had to crawl your ass to the landline. Which, by the way, makes me laugh that people are like, we just need a house for just the phone. We need a phone just for the house. And I'm like, that's called a landline, oh genius one. They used to have those all the way up until 2003 when landlines became wireless. And then the wireless landlines became useless because everybody had a cell phone. So just throwing that one out there. Anyways, But no, the kid hadn't seen any physical form of media, and to somebody who was kind of sheltered away, not away from the internet or not away from people or civilization, because we had neighbors, but I mean it was like you had to go for like a quarter mile walk to go see them. So yeah, but the point is that this kid hadn't seen any form of physical media, hadn't put a disc into a tray, hadn't slotted the VHS tape into the VCR, and then watched the movie and had to rewind it because they wanted to watch it again and had to wait 5 to 10 minutes for the rewind speed to happen. So I'm telling you, this kid had not gone through those hardships. So anybody who had gone through those hardships or has gone through those hardships knows the struggle and the luxury that is digital media. It frustrates me when kids walk up and say, "Oh, that's great. That's one thing. This is, but we don't have to deal with that. I could just, order that I can order that on Amazon, or I can watch that on Amazon Prime, or I can watch that on Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or whatever." And by the way, I would like to just say this to every single streaming service, sans Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. Those three specific, this does not apply. Okay? Every other streaming service can go fuck themselves. And the reason I say this, and take note, YouTube is not in there because that is an internet streaming service, not a television streaming service. But the reason I say this is because those streaming services were their own downfall at the box office. Let me explain. Well, 2019 happened, and there were rumblings happening from China. There were rumblings happening that COVID was amongst us. There were rumblings that things were about to go down to the shitter. Trump was being impeached. The whole country was up in arms trying to figure out what to do next. Trump then, of course, says, guess what? We're now going into a pandemic. Now you guys got to deal with this. 2020 happens, 2021, 2022, and 2023 happen. Within those 3 years, we had 7 high-ranking studios make their own streaming service. Now, this was good for the time. For the time that those were going down, perfect. It was great. It was wonderful. It was stuff that we all needed to see. We wanted to watch movies. Nobody could watch Black Widow. We wanted to watch Black Widow. Terrible movie, but pretty decent. But anyways, point is that they shot themselves in the foot at the box office, because then they could just release it onto the streaming service and nobody has to go see it in theaters. So they all shot themselves in the foot, because now all the studios are saying, "Oh, well, we're not making as much money on these movies anymore. We're not making that much money." And the actors and actresses are saying the same thing. And I'm looking at this like, you guys shot yourselves in the foot so badly, to a point where I think movie theaters are now going to become a nostalgic attraction. And that's kind of what they are becoming right now. Because if you look into it, from the grandest scheme of things, who's gonna want to go to the theater when they can just enjoy watching a brand new movie on their couch at home? Not to mention, they also shot themselves in the foot with physical releases. So let me explain something to you here. Now, back when channels used to be by a satellite provider, when they used to be backed by that, you used to have to pay for a specific channel to watch specific movies, to watch specific TV shows, to get specific TV shows. And if you didn't, hey, once again, no big deal, that's cool. But if you did, you had to pay for that. I look at this as in like, okay, we swapped television channels and satellite companies for internet and movie streaming services. So let me explain. On that part, when you have a television channel, usually there's got some airtime, there's commercial time, there's product placement time, there's there's new releases time, there's all of that that's got to go on, right? Well, when you look into it like that, there are streaming services that tell you, oh, well, if you don't want to watch advertisements and the product placement and the new movie trailers and any of that stuff, you have to pay extra for that. So I seriously feel like we swapped television channels and like in-home, maybe not in-home movies, but I feel like we swapped all of that just for streaming services. Now, back to Skibbity Jacket with the Wii. I believe the Wii is one of the most ultimate Nintendo consoles that has ever been produced. Okay? Sans the Switch, I think that the Wii is one of the best ones that they've ever produced. And the reason I say this is because the Wii had backwards compatibility with so many games with the GameCube. So, it had so many backwards compatible games with the GameCube. Like with the GameCube, you could play original Smash, you could play all that. And with the original Wii, they had ports, certain ports on the top of the console that you could literally just plug your GameCube controller and your memory card into, back when memory cards were a thing. But you could do that. And yes, I 100% agree. The Wii is a goat of a console. It truly is. It truly is and always will be. So I can't say anything bad about that. So let me see, what time is it here? Sorry, I was in the idea for getting another retro TV, getting another CRT. So, but yeah. And by the way, if nobody plays retro games on a CRT, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing with it? I'm not saying you have to go buy yourself a CRT to do so. I'm not saying you have to have a CRT only. I'm just saying that, hey, CRTs are a little better. They just are. So, yeah. Now, uh, back to Toy Talk. So, with that being said, I have seen the announcements for the next Studio Series Wave, and I've already completed this last one, or just about completed this last one. By the way, I've got Core Class Studio Series 86 Steeljaw on the way. I have him on the way. I also have the Last Night Steelbane on the way because it's been a minute since I've taken a look at Transformers the last night, so I kind of want to take a look at that today. Or maybe not today, but in the future we will take a look at it. And also, if any of you guys can make a suggestion as to which giveaway item I should go and find. Okay? Because today I'm announcing that we're going to do a giveaway. I just haven't figured out which figure I want to give away just yet. And I will have more details for everybody coming soon with that. So you guys can then check out where you need to send information and everything of the nature. So don't be afraid if, don't be afraid if things are, not gonna. Don't be afraid. We will get to it, and there will be a giveaway. So, sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that. So, I was not expecting to have to move this light. I'm always moving it. So, yeah. But, anyways, that being said, we have another Lego set to put together. It's not going to happen today, but it definitely will happen later this week. It'll probably happen on Wednesday or so, maybe Friday. I haven't decided which day I want to do that quite yet, or do this quite yet, but we are going to do a Let's Build here in the future. I'm in the Safari Zone. Hey, you're in the Safari Zone. That's awesome. At the moment, when more people show up. welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. If you guys are just tuning in once more, if you guys do comments, you guys do get shouted out at the end of the video. So yeah. Oh, well, hello. What is up, Daniel? I'm not sure if you have a friend who are aware who is a nurse, and she is a nurse and has been in the hospital for a while. And hold on here. So hi, yeah, it's working again now. What's going on with this Daniel dude here? I don't know who you are, and I don't even know if this is the. I don't even know if you're in the right stream. So not saying that to be mean, but no, you're in the. I got the stream working again. So yeah, but anyways, I'm actually kind of curious. What kind of Studio Series 86 characters are you guys wanting to see in the Studio Series 86 lineup? I'm personally really, really hung up and excited on that Devastator. I'm really excited for it. Like, I haven't gotten any pre-orders in yet because all the pre-orders that everybody else managed to get to before me don't know. But so yeah. But what's going on there? Um, you're in the Safari Zone there, Skibbity Jacket. That's cool. I think that's awesome. I think it's awesome. So we're gonna keep the stream going till somebody gets here. If you guys were able to catch part of my phone conversation, which by the way I don't think you guys were, I am gonna go to a thrift store here in a little while, but I do want everybody to just know we will be back at this live again a little later this evening. So if you guys do want to check in a little later, you're more than welcome to do so. A little later this evening, I might just put together this thing here. I might just do that. I don't know if I'm gonna or if I'm not gonna. So I don't know yet. But so really quickly, to me, it seems like with Hasbro within the recent days, and take note, I'm not upset at Hasbro for any of this because it's not their fault entirely. But to me, it seems like they are like releasing. Have they said anything about Megatron yet? If not, I would like to have one. They have only said two things about him. The first one being is he will turn into a tank, and the second one is he will be based off of the G186 design. And if I have to throw a third one in there as well, they're going to have him be a leader class. So that way he will be probably, I want to say about this height, maybe a little taller. I'd say probably maybe about that much taller, so yeah, about that far. So I think they'll probably upscale it just a little bit to make him in more scale with him. So yeah, that's quite nice. Something I'm actually really curious about, and I'm actually kind of miffed off a little bit that they're not doing this anymore. And take note, I could be 100% wrong. I have not seen anything said to date yet about this. But from what I understand, is that they're not going to release the final wave of Legacy on shelves. From what I understand. Because I've been seeing people get Cosmos, I've been seeing people get G2 Armada, or the Generation 2, what was it? It was the G2, not Burnout, Criminy, now I gotta, Dead End, that's it, G2 Dead End, they were showing off, or maybe not, maybe it wasn't even Dead End, maybe it was a different one. Breakdown, maybe. I don't know. But the point is that they were showing off all of the brand new Legacy figures when I have yet to see any of them show up at stores. The only one that I have seen at all within a shred of, like, I've seen it, is the fact that I saw the repackaged Legacy United Ramjet. That's the only one I've seen. Only one I've seen. Haven't seen another one since. That's it. So, yeah. So, but yeah, we are going to do a giveaway here sometime within the next week or so. So be tuned. Keep staying tuned in for that. Because we are going to do a giveaway this month. Maybe not this month, but probably next month. I'm going to try and see if I can get it for the middle of the month or the end of the month. So, yeah. But anyways, that's the idea that we're going to do and run with. I do not know if, you know, like, I do not know if things are going to work out with the Studio Series line. I know for a fact the Gamer Edition line is going to be getting some really interesting figures. So I just don't I don't. This is my thing with the Studio Series 86 figures and the and the Studio Series Gamer Edition line. I think you're the only YouTuber I actually try to watch every stream for. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Skibbity Jacket. You don't have to try all the time. You can just make it when you can make it, or watch it later when you can. So, it's not that big of a deal. You do get shouted out in the video, right? You do always get shouted out in the stream. But the point being that I'm saying for the Transformers is I don't think the Gamer Edition line is going to last much longer. And the reason I say that is, number one, we don't have a video game to tie in with the toys anymore. We just don't. We had War for Cybertron, we had Fall of Cybertron, and then we had Devastation. That's about it. The video game movie, the movie video games, I don't count those. I do not count those in the slightest. Those are quite possibly, in my opinion, some of the worst games, except for Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon. I actually quite enjoyed those games. Those games were quite nice, and the War for Cybertron games. But the War for Cyber, I don't feel like those are going to get any recognition. Like, there's no other video game character from the movie tie-in video games that are going to get a transformable figure. Like, they did it in 2007. They tried to do it again in 2009. They attempted to do it again in 2012, like 2010, 10, 11, and 12, and that didn't work out. So then they had to go back to the TV show kind of deal. And then those video games did not work out very well. I personally didn't play the Cyberverse video games, but also take note, once again, this is just my opinion. So you do not have to completely deal with it at all. You don't have to listen to it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to enjoy it. You can hate every single bit that I have just said. But that's the gist of what's up with it. So, you know what? I think I'm going to bring out a special treat for you guys today. I think I will. I think I will just I'm going to bring out a very special treat for you guys that I normally would not do. But because this is the live stream and this is the live hangout, I feel like I need to do something cool. Something kind of flashy, kind of like pops out in your face. So give me just a brief moment, folks. Okay. Like I said, I normally don't do this for people, but here we have. This is the knockoff Studio Series Devastator. So there you go. Figure. If we're gonna do something kind of cool, might as well do something very cool. So yeah. But anyways. So Like I said, we are going to do a giveaway. So when that happens, I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, he's a big one. However, he's not the biggest one I've owned. I've owned one of the biggest, not the biggest, but I've owned one of the biggest. The biggest, that one being that they've ever produced, was Titan's Return Fortress Maximus. So, and if you guys didn't catch the review for that one, you can always go check it out in the main channel down below. So, but yeah, I've got Devastator. I've got a Devastator. This is not my favorite Devastator, but it is a Devastator that I'm not getting rid of. So yeah. So there's actually a really interesting story that goes behind Devastator, but I really don't want to tell it because of how sad the story ends. So yeah. And the last two figures that we need to review of this guy are Mixmaster and Rampage. But I just don't feel like reviewing them. They're difficult, and I don't feel like dealing with it. So, anyways, the goal for this month, if anybody is interested or wants to know. Oh, by the way, if you guys do want to know how this scales, there's your Megs. Honestly, if this Megatron had commanded this Devastator in the movie, I would feel a little bit more intimidated by Megatron. But unfortunately, I just don't. If you hear snoring in the background, it's the kitty. Hi, buddy. He's mad because I'm not paying attention to him right this second. So, that being said, if you guys do want to say hello to the channel Kitty, this is the channel Kitty Cat. This is Toast. Say hello, Toast. Say hi, Toast. So, but yep. Yeah, he's not very happy that I'm not showing him much attention today. So, there we go. Ugh. There we are. But, yep. Now back to robots. So, yeah. I honestly think, and truth be told, thank you. Thank you for saying hello to Toast. Toast says hello back. Say hello back to Skibidi Jacket, buddy. Okay, buddy. Aw. But anyways, back to robots. I truly think, and take note, you can totally disagree with me on this if you want to. I really would like to see them re-release the Core Class Devastator, and I would like to see them re-release it like they did with all the Core Class figures. Because honestly, that's a little bit more affordable for everybody to go buy than to go and spend like $300 on all of this stuff here. Take note, all of these parts are not even close to original stuff with it. So for example, like all of these pieces here are knockoff. Not this guy. This guy's official. I bought this guy at TFCon LA. So back in 2023. So, but yeah. So back to robots. I think if they were to re-release the core class figures in the Studio Series style that we saw, I would honestly be more inclined to, buy that. I'd be inclined to buy it. And the reason I'd be inclined to buy it is because, well, you could have them all in a Voyager class set or a Leader class set, spend the $50 on the whole set, or you could, or you can piecemeal it, which honestly is not that big of a deal, not that big of a deal in the slightest. So, yeah. So take note. 20 bucks, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, 30 bucks, or more like, yeah, I'm just going to explain this to you guys here. 20 bucks, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, 30 bucks, 50 bucks, 50 bucks, 30 bucks, 30 bucks. So you're spending about $300 for the whole thing, regardless of what you're doing. And by the way, those were retail new when they were new. Now, you can't get Scrapper for anything less than 60 bucks. That's the lowest I've seen him go for. You can't get Hightower now for anything lower than like 70 bucks, almost 80 bucks. Long Haul here has been at the top of the game for a while. He's been there for like he's been at the top of the ball game for somewhere around like maybe 90 to 100 bucks. But usually if you find the long haul, that usually a mix master comes with it. So yeah, you can't usually buy those for any cheap. Rampage, the red one and the yellow one, to my knowledge, or Skipjack. Skipjack, to my knowledge, is fairly close to like 60 bucks. So I'm gonna throw this out here. If you want to buy this thing secondhand, you ain't walking away with anything less than 350 to almost 400 for this bad boy. Okay. Now, this bad boy here, the one that I personally am looking at right now, cost me a whole 65 bucks and a chance encounter with Rick Alvarez. So, yeah. I'm not even joking. It was a chance encounter with Rick Alvarez. And if you, for those of you who do not know who Rick Alvarez is, he was one of the producers of Transformers Prime, the TV show. His characters were, I think, RC, Smokescreen, Ironhide, and I think there were a couple other characters that he was involved with. But my friend and I had just taken delivery of this thing, and I had a couple more payments left to do for it. And I was in the middle of TFCon LA. I was out in the lobby at this Marriott hotel, and I'm outside. I think I was take note, it was California, and I was very much over legal age, so I think I was outside smoking a joint. But I was outside, and there was a guy who just walked up to me and he goes, "Hey man, how you doing? You enjoying the con?" I'm like, "I'm loving the con, man. It's wonderful. I'm having a good time." And my buddy at the time was like, "Dude, do you know who that is?" I'm like, "No." I was like, "No, I don't know who this is. I'm in California. I'm in an area I really don't know. I'm in a city I don't want to be in. I have no clue who the heck that was, man." And he goes, "You need to go back and talk to him." And I'm like, "Okay." And so I go back into this common room area. I put my joint out. I go back into this room and I go speak to the guy and I said, "Hey, I never caught your name. What was your name?" And he goes, "Oh, my name is Rick Alvarez." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. Am I supposed to know who that is?" And then I look at my friend and I'm like, "Am I supposed to know who Rick Alvarez is?" And he goes, "Dude, Rick Alvarez is one of the producers of Transformers Prime." I'm like, "Oh, cool." Well, fortunately, and take note, this is how things happen in weird convention time. I was trading with the official TF Source toy store. They have booths that go out into the that actually go out into conventions and they actually sell stuff. And they sell stuff, they trade stuff, they do all that, all sorts of stuff with that, right? Well, I was trading with them and I just so happened to trade for a Transformers Prime Voyager bulkhead. Or a what was it? It was a Legacy Transformers Prime Universe bulkhead. That's the one that I traded for. I traded up to that, and then I took that and got it signed by Rick Alvarez for free, and then I threw it in my bag, thinking, "Oh, cool! I got another signature for free. I didn't have to pay for. Cool." Well, my friend then tells me, he goes, "Dude, you are so lucky you got that signed by Rick Alvarez." He goes, "You didn't." He goes, "Do you know how lucky you are? He was asking people for money for his signature." I'm like, "Okay, that's great. I don't know what it's worth. I don't know who he is. I didn't watch Transformers Prime." Okay? Now, take note. This is nothing against Transformers Prime, the TV show, and or the actors and voice actors and actresses that worked on it. This is nothing against the people who watch it. I am not offended by what is about to come my way. I did not care for Transformers Prime for two big reasons. The first one was they were clearly trying to go off of the momentum that the movie had set up. They're trying to give it a cinematic feel with cartoony vibes kind of deal. Then after that, then the second reason, the second reason why I'm miffed off at that is because it wasn't season 4 of Transformers Animated. And they promised us they were going to give us season 4 of Transformers Animated. And then afterwards, they shut down Animated and started production on Transformers Prime. Now, once again, I know how this TV world goes. Sometimes TV shows don't make enough numbers. Sometimes they're only green slated for certain seasons. Sometimes the networking company goes out of business. Sometimes the network company drops contracts. I get that. But mid 2008 to early 2009, they said in an interview that they were going to give us season 4 of Transformers Animated. And then, shortly after that, they shut down production on it. They were like 3/4 of the way done with, I think, the first 5 episodes. Like, they were 3/4 of the way done. They just needed their voice actors and a few more touch-up animations. And then they shut down production. Not to mention, they also had so many different toys that were coming out with that. Like, they had Ironhide coming out. They had Megatron. They had Hotshot. They had Wasp coming out. They had another version of Bulkhead. They had another version of Shockwave coming out. They had another version of Blur. I'm telling you, dude, they had so much planned for this TV show. And then, in the blink of an eye, it was gone. So, yeah. Now, take note. I usually do not get upset over TV shows being canceled. But that one is one that I was very upset to get canceled. Like, for example, dude, I think that they could have easily done a season 4 of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I totally 100% agree with that. I think they did not need a season 4 of Legend of Korra, though. They did not need a season 4 of that show. I'm going to be honest with you. Season 3 was the climax of the Avatar: The Last Airbender / Legend of Korra start. Like, the whole thing. Firstly, you had Aang's son Tenzin. You had Aang's son Tenzin and his family, the new family of airbenders that are going on. You have all of that going on there. Then you have the new Avatar. You got all the old characters. Dude, the endless characters that could have shown up. I'm just very bummed that they chose not to do that. Like, take note. With the original, the first episode, A Leaf in the Wind, or not, no, it wasn't A Leaf in the Wind. That was Welcome to Republic City. That was it. The first episode of Legend of Korra, Welcome to Republic City. They could have easily had Katara and Sokka in those episodes. However, because they had to have the canonology of Sokka dying, he's dead. I apologize if I spoiled stuff for you guys, but that's what's up. So, but anyways, but I think that if they were to do a season 4 of Legend of Korra, I truly think they should have ended it with the climax of the new spirit portal being opened in Republic City. I also think that if they were to do something of that nature, they would have just let it go at the, like, if they were to have done something where they had mixed season 4 in with season 3 and maybe change the plot of season 4 to suit season 3's terroristic plot a little better. But what I'm frustrated with on that front was the fact that they chose to go with a completely different season, completely different tactics, completely different everything, and it failed. Season 4 of Legend of Korra, I'm gonna tell you, was the worst. Season 1 was good, was very good. I gotta be honest, Season 1, I give Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko full props for doing that. That one was insane. I cannot say to you how amazing it was to go from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then in 2010, I want to say like 2-3 years later, they come out with Legend of Korra, and that bitch didn't end until 2016. Or was it 2014? I think it was 2014. Yeah, 2014. But anyways, so there was that. And take note, they did an entire weekend of just Avatar. Just Avatar. They did Avatar: The Last Airbender to prep you for Legend of Korra. Then they did Season 1 of Legend of Korra, Season 2 of Legend of Korra, Season 3, and then the finale of Season 4. They had every episode leading right up to the finale 3-part. Or was it a 2-part? I think it was a 3-part. Anyways, the point being is that this is what I liked about old TV and cable specifically. And I'm not saying that cable's better than digital streaming services and it's better than all that. I'm not saying that in the slightest. What I'm saying is that cable TV had a charm that will never be replaced. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments if you are interested. But cable TV was one of the most cool things that you could do when you were a kid growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s. Take note, how it goes nowadays is you have everything at the palm of your fingertips. Palm of your fingertips. You've got everything you could possibly want at the palm of your fingertips. Well, when you have everything at the palm of your fingertips, there's no anticipation anymore. There's no excitement. There's no, how shall I say, there's no lust for it anymore. There's no lust for anything to wait for anymore. The only thing that's really lustful to wait for nowadays is toys and music. Because with music, they're gonna drop a new song, they're gonna drop a new album, they're gonna do a single, there's always stuff like that going on with the music world. You just have to wait for it and watch. Same thing goes with toys. There's always a brand new figure coming out. There's always a brand new something that's going to be coming out within the year. There's always going to be leaked listings. There's always going to be something like that. Now, when you were a kid back in the 90s and 2000s, if you saw a commercial, actually, I'm going to give you a better example. Not even if you saw a commercial, it was when you saw a commercial. Say, for example, you saw a commercial for this son of a bitch here. If you saw a commercial for that and it says, oh, build and combine Devastator combines with eight essential figures, then you can totally build your own cardboard pyramid and have him start to destroy it. Uh-oh, here comes Optimus Prime. He's going to combine with Jet. I can totally picture a commercial for this stuff. There was one commercial I've seen on TV for Transformers Studio Series. One, and one only. I have never seen another one since. Ever since then, I have only ever seen it on the internet, and I have only ever since thus seen it on YouTube. So yeah, there's a lot that goes on. So, anyways, you had the excitement of, oh my gosh, can I get this for Christmas this year? Oh my gosh, can I get this for my birthday this year? Oh my gosh, is this going to be something that's going to be Santa approved? The childlike wonder of the world is now gone. And the reason I say this is because now we have, please, I rarely go this direction, but now we have, pedophiles and forced entertainment. So, what do I mean by that? Well, I'm saying forced entertainment by you have this algorithm within YouTube, within companies, within certain things of that nature, and you have all of those things that go down inside those companies, and they're major, major companies, and everybody gets to hear about that. It's kind of with politics. They always say, oh, here's something cool going on over here while I do something shady off in the corner. That's how I feel like it's been. But, you know, with that being said, you do have all of that sort of stuff that goes on. And now you don't have that. You don't have the speculation. There's no longer the spiciness of a rumor. There's no longer any of that because everything's on camera, everything's recorded, everything's documented. It's a drag. It's a drag to deal with. So back in the 90s and early 2000s, I praised that decade. In fact, I praise any decade that did not have the internet and stuff like that in certain ways. And the reason I say that is because you actually had to use your brain with certain things. Like for example, when I was a kid and you weren't allowed to watch TV, we were told, guess what we were told? Go play outside. So guess what we did? We went outside and we fucking played. We went outside and played with the garden hose. That's what we drank from, FYI. We went outside and built fires in the fire pit. We freaking played hide and seek. We played tag. We fucking did shit. So we were active. Kids nowadays are not active, and people nowadays are not active because they have cell phones and they have streaming services and they have everything at their fingertips. There's no more innocence of patience and anticipation. So, like for example, this live stream. I'm gonna use this live stream as an example. And take note, this is not a bad thing. None of you guys are in trouble. I'm not in trouble. I'm not being mean to anybody. However, if this was a television channel, I would have had to pay for airtime. I would have to pay for commercials. I would have to pay for a studio audience. Dude, there is a list that goes on of the things that you'd have to do. Now I can just say, hey, I want to live stream on my channel right now, and I'm going to do so. All right, we're live. Let's go. That's how it goes. I was not born in the 90s or early 2000s. I was born in like the early 2010s. I am young, I know. Let's see. So if you're early 2010s, I'm gonna say 2012. But the only reason I say 2012 is because you're playing Pokemon, and it's. Anyways, point is that now I'm trying to guess people's age. Good lord. But anyways, the 90s and early 2000s were a good time. You, Skibbity Jacket, not that big of a deal. You were born in 2012. You're Gen Alpha. You're not the greatest generation of all time. In fact, I don't even think Gen Z is the greatest generation of all time, which I am. Really close, but that's all you get to know. So, okay, 2011. I'm going to say between 2011 to 2013. Those are the earliest 2010s I can get to. But 2011 or 2013. But anyways, so what frustrates me about that is that there's no innocence of patience and anticipation. Like for example, usually whenever like you had to find out through like your friend from a friend from a friend to find out whether or not a toy was good. At least when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, we had well, firstly, I mean, we did have access to the internet, but it was limited. So when we had access to the internet, we would hear, "Oh, yeah, there's a new toy coming out. That's cool." Then we'd look it up on the internet, see if there's anything cool about it, see if it's an official image, see if this is not an official image, see if this is something that we want to pick up, see if this is something we want to beg our parents for, at Walmart and then cry on the way home. I did not do that. I never did that once in my life. Don't judge, because I don't. But the point being is that there were so many things that happened that were not that are now no longer possible. Basically, you pop out of the womb and you're gifted a cell phone, a social media following, and a social security number. That's pretty much what happens nowadays when you're born in the United States. Is you are born with a social security number, a cell phone in your hand, a social media platform, and a number of followers. That's what happens when you're born in America now. When you were born in America, in the 90s, early 2000s, hell, even the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you were born with a brain. You could come up with ideas that you wanted to implement. You could do things that you wanted to do. Now, I'm not saying that people are stupid now, because I'm definitely not saying that. People, well, depending on who you talk to, yes, people are stupid. But if you have a brain that works and functions, and basically your brain is the biggest supercomputer that's ever been produced on the planet, because you can have thoughts, actions, you can do anything you want with your brain. But I feel like after 2007, and I say 2007 specifically, all of that creativity, all of the ideas, all of the, hey, what could we do to make human life more efficient, more fun, more cool, more entertaining for everybody? What could we do with that? Let's throw it all on a little device that you can touch with your fingertips and basically just make it so much easier for everybody to order stuff online so they don't have to get off their fucking couch. And take note, once again, I am not complaining on that front because I am privy to the same problems. I definitely do the same things. I'm not even going to lie. I was on my phone, on my ass yesterday, on my couch, ordering Transformers off of Amazon and Mercari. So, yeah, I can't complain on that front because, yes, it does make life a little easier, but I miss the times when there were movies you could anticipate to watch. There were cartoons you were anticipating to watch. There were toys you were anticipating to get. There was a new restaurant in town that you wanted to go check out, or a restaurant nearby you wanted to go check out. There were all sorts of things that now we have lost the innocence of anticipation and patience. So, I just got my phone last year. I got one because I was using my dad's old phone to have my own phone. I understand that. I used to do the same thing when I was a kid. In fact, my very first cell phone was not a touch phone. My very first phone was an LG Slip. An LG Slip. Basically, it looked like an iPod, but it had a keyboard that popped out at the bottom and a directional arrow pad that you could mess with. Now, as soon as that phone disappeared, because I never saw that phone ever again, I left it charging one night and it disappeared. I still have no clue where that one went. But as soon as that happened, I was gifted a broken Samsung Galaxy S3, which lasted me 5 months, 6 months. Yeah, my dad had one of those. It was blue. Yeah, dude, I loved those. Mine was black. Mine looked like a BlackBerry. Like if you were to put a BlackBerry and my little phone right next to each other at the time, they would have looked almost identical. So yeah, there was that. Let me see here. What else did I? What else? And then as soon as that one, I can literally go through my entire phone history and tell you all of it. So my mom gifted me her broken Samsung Galaxy S3, which honestly was not that bad, until the screen completely shattered one day. I was in my car, or not in my car. I was in a car. I left my cell phone in the car, and the heat caused some stress marks on the glass screen, and it fractured the screen even further. and it just never worked after that. I was like, great, I got to get a new phone. So for about a month, I did not have a phone. So then I was gifted a Samsung Galaxy S4 with an extended battery pack, which I fucking loved that thing. Oh my gosh, if I could tell you guys the amazing things that I loved about that phone was like where it all started on my YouTube channel. That's where everything pretty much started. Like you can go back all the way down to like certain videos and it'll literally tell it like I filmed certain videos on that Samsung Galaxy S4 for maybe 3.5 years. Yeah, 3.5 years. And then after that, I was given a Samsung Galaxy S7. Now, the reason why I wanted the S7 was because number one, it was beautifully crafted. I loved that phone. I loved it. I still love that phone. But it was beautifully crafted. Again, no problem with that. Um, Beautifully crafted. It had a wonderful case on it. The screen protectors were quite nice, except for the one that I had. Now, if you guys get a glass screen protector, you guys are asking for your cell phone to be broken. Okay. Now, I say glass screen protector as in it's a sheet of glass that goes over your screen. It's all that kind of deal, right? If you get a plastic one, it's a little bit easier for you to have a better phone or a, more intact cell phone at the end of its lifespan. I had a glass screen protector, and the one piece that the glass screen protector was not protecting is where a tiny little rock got into it. My phone fell out of my pocket, and that shattered the screen. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. I have had this phone for 3 weeks, and the phone screen shot. Oh, dude, I was pissed. Is getting a Samsung. I'm the only one with a Google phone. Yeah, I would not get a Google phone. The reason why I say don't get a Google phone is because Google records every conversation you've ever had, and they basically throw it into Google's algorithm to see if certain things are what you might want. And the only reason I know this is because my one of my good friends who I've known my entire life has or had a Google Pixel. Now, once again, the phone capabilities of it are not that big of a deal. Once again, not bad. Um, but Google phones, they track everything you do. They don't they don't care what you do, who you do it with, or how you're doing it. They track your whereabouts all the time. And it's very, very scary. So yeah. So yeah, there's that. And then after my Samsung Galaxy S7, I was given an S21? Yeah. Yeah. No. I had the Note 10. That's what I had. I had the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 for 4 years. Yeah, for 4 years. Couple or not 4 years. Yeah, no, 4 years. 2022, I upgraded to an S22. Then I upgraded to the S22 Ultra, which is what I'm currently filming on now. So yeah. But no, my very first phone was an LG Slip, and those things were nice. After the LG Slip, there were a couple other LG phones I had too, but they were not my favorite. They just weren't. So, but anyways, let me see and take a look, see at this, what's going on in life here. Okay, but anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much my entire cell phone lifespan history. So that being said, if you don't forget to subscribe for more content and don't forget to leave comments down below, you will get featured at the end of the live stream, which I will end it in 40 minutes. I'm not going to end it right now. I'm going to end it in 40 minutes, people. We're going to have a 2-hour live stream session today, 2-hour hangout. So, yeah. That being said, who thinks that there should be or will be a core class studio series Frenzy? And it's going to get released with with a barricade. So, anyways, no word on the Lego Prime stuff, unfortunately, yet. I just gotta wait for those parts to show up. I'm waiting for my friend, or not my friend, my relative in Washington State to send them. And I'm not saying relative because I don't love them in anything of the nature. I'm just saying relative because I don't want to give names away on the internets. So yeah. So, although you guys want to see something weird that I got at a thrift store, I'm kind of curious to know what you guys' thoughts are on this. Really curious. I bought this at a thrift store the other day, and please take note. This is the set, and I've reduced the boxes down significantly. Here's the channel kitty. Oh, yeah, he's a good boy, huh? Who's a good kitty? So, but yeah, no, I got this weird thing at a thrift store. Anybody know what this is? I mean, this is the best I can. This is the best I can do with it. And it does move. Like, give me just a second here. Very slow, but it works. So, anyways, I'm just curious. Well, what's the matter? What's the matter, whiny kitties? What's the matters? What's the matter, buddies? So, yeah. Looks like something a kid would ride at the mall. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought that was something maybe the mall had, or maybe something in that ballpark, but I couldn't figure that out. This is like one of those really weird things that I don't know. I bought this at a thrift store and I'm looking to flip it. So if anybody's interested, let me know who's in the Utah area. But I genuinely have no idea what to do with this thing. No clue. So, yeah. All right, so since we're keeping this live stream going for about 40 minutes, I'm gonna go grab myself a water. Don't go anywhere. So, so, water. Water's a wonderful, wonderful thing. People need it to live. So, yeah. So, if the world was ending, I'd wanna be next to you. not scared of the dark. I'm not scared. I'm not scared of the stars. I'm not scared of the dark. Of the dark. Cause the boys in the hood go always hard. Come talking the trash and we'll pull your card. Knowing nothing in life but to be legit. You don't quote me, boys, cause I ain't said shit. Do 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 do. Top dog, light 'em up, nigga burn shit up. DPGC, make a turn that shit up. CPT, LBC, yeah, we hooking back up. And when they bang us in the club, it be you got to get up. Thug diggers, drug dealers, ever giving it up. Low life, yo life, boy, we living it up. Taking chances while we dancing in the party for show. Slipped my hoe with 44 when she got in the back door. Looking at me strange, but you know I don't care. Take a bullet with some dick and take the. Oh, but you know I don't care. She's looking at me strange, but you know I don't care. Take a bullet with some, take a dope on the shelf. Out of town, put it down for the father of rap. And if your ass get cracked, bitch, shut your trap. Come back, get back. This the part of success. If you believe in your ass, you be relieving your stress. Smoke weed every day. Are you with me after all? Why can't I hear you? Stay with me, don't let me go. Because there's nothing left at all. Stay with me, don't let me go. Until the ashes of Eden fall. So, anyways, what's you guys' favorite band? Let me know in the comments section. I'm curious. What's you guys' favorite band you guys like to listen to? I personally have been finding myself listening to a lot of new metal. Poppy is my current favorite one, or at least in the female metal artists. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, sounds like you really like that song. Like, is my fourth time hearing you sing it. Which one? Which one? I just, if you're referring to Die with a Smile, that's just because I've been, it's because it's stuck in my head. If the world was ending, I'd wanna be next to you. And die with a smile. So, yeah, that's. I mean, it's a good song. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's okay, but there's loads of other ones that I know of and that I know bands of. I can even sing you a cover version of "In the End," or from Linkin Park that a guy named Echo. I don't know if you guys have heard of that rapper name. He is one of my favorite independent rappers of all time. Just one of my favorite. Like my favorite one is Free Concert. Nice, nice. Oh, you're welcome. Anyways, the the guy who sang the guy who sings the song, one of his songs, it literally starts out by saying, "Damn, everybody trying to take a piece of who I am. Fuck a pair of Yeezys, I'm just rolling in these Vans." To which, by the way, if you do roll in Vans instead of Yeezys, you guys are definitely kings in my book. Because Vans were like the shit when I was a kid. So, yeah. So, but, it starts with one thing. I don't know when. I found myself lost in the story. Looking to try to find hope in within. Don't even know where to begin to pick up the pen. And all I did when I try to be better for you is add another piece of me to the things that I lose. Following the trauma buried down in the roots. You got me stuck trying to move. And all of it is so unlike the way I was before I feel this. Pulled at the soul that it's too much to deal with. Hard to see the pain when the cuts kept concealed, trying underneath the skin and going deep within. And all of the intent that I had at the start doesn't matter now when it's all falling apart. And what it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. One thing, I don't know when. I found myself lost in the story again. Oh, just such a good song. Anyways. So, yeah. There's loads of things that I can do, but yeah, singing and dancing's not my strongest suit. So, I remember black skies, the lightning all around me. I remembered each flash as time began to blur. It's all good. So, like a startling sign, the fate had finally found me. And your voice was all I heard. Did I get what I deserve? So give me reason to prove me wrong, to wash this memory clean, and let the floods cross the distance in your eyes. And give me reason to fill this hole, connect the space between, and let it be enough to reach the truth and lies across this new divide. There was nothing in sight but memories left abandoned. There was nowhere to hide, the ashes fell like snow, and the ground caved in between where we were standing. And your voice was all I heard. That I get what I deserve. So give me reason to prove me wrong, to wash this memory clean, to let the floods cross the distance in your eyes across this new divide. So, yeah. If anybody doesn't know what that is, that's Linkin Park's New Divide. Been out for better part of over a decade and a half now, so just go check it out. It's quite nice. So, yeah. So, all right. Well, I think we are going to end this live stream a little bit early because I've got things that I need to get taken care of today. So, anyways, y'all have a good rest of your day. And before I forget, we are going to shout a bunch of people out. So do not forget to check out Skibbity Jacket, BMW Goat, Bread is Good, and Daniel. And also don't forget to check out Lemon Lime Productions, Devin Poon, big Transformers fan or fan Transformers. I don't remember which one it is, but don't forget to check him out. Don't forget to check out Kitten Cat 999, Alexander Rothschild, Ice Star 552, Jordy's Rail Videos, Patrick with the Y, Riveted Railfan, and Riveted Reviews, along with The Good, the Bad, the Awesome, and New York Toy Hunter, as they've all done some amazing work in the past, have helped me out in the past, and I will try to continue to help them out in the future. So anyways, thank you for watching, and this is Thomasfan01 saying, don't forget to keep playing with your toys. Goodbye.